Yes, you read that correctly. 2885 has lost the KVK after 2 years. After six consecutive wins, 3 stars. Someday it had to happen. And I gotta say, this is the most eventful KVK that I had in all my 6 years of playing. And I'm gonna walk you through it from start to finish. So this is going to be a long video to make up for the lack of videos that I made in the last couple weeks. And there's a valid reason for that. So for those who are still here for the first time, I'm a free-to-play player, content creator for Rise of Kingdoms. I've been playing for 6 years. In this KVK, I've been playing 2 accounts, and one is not free-to-play. So that on itself has been a change to the recent gameplay that I had on the channel and everything that goes with it. So to start things off, we gotta go before the KVK. What is our plan? What happened? So before the KVK, we had some leadership changes. I went back to leadership after a long break, and I was just helping out with the events. But when KVK came around, I took on a more advanced role, being in the voice chat, calling out markers, just being an active leader. And that's also one of the reasons why I didn't really stream. But also the reasons why I didn't stream was because the pass opening for the first time in 6 years had been at reset. So usually, the opening times were like 16, 17 UTC, but now it has been like reset and like close to 1 UTC. So as a European with Central European time, that is like 2 a.m., 3 a.m., and it's definitely a hindrance, not just for me, but for a lot of players and leadership as well, because we have lots of players from Europe and that time zone, so it was definitely rough. But before that, our goal was to go into the KVK and be a supporting kingdom like we did last KVK. But the matchmaking had other plans, and we got into the Heroic Anthem Pioneer, which has the new tech, and we usually have a very good experience with Heroic Anthem. It has been our best KVK, mode ever since we started playing. We usually have a good time, and just to say it, I had a lot of fun this KVK, even though with a loss, I didn't mind losing. It's just the circumstances that we lost. I feel like we did our best, but I'm gonna talk about the reasons why as we go on. But we went for Heroic Anthem, we went for the new tech, and I gotta say the new tech has been quite nice. And I've been very happy with the Karok timings as well. But I'll get to that a little bit later in the video. But we went into matchmaking hoping to be supporting kingdom. We ended up being the main kingdom in the camp. And also this KVK had the pre-KVK happened in Lost Kingdoms. So we had to prepare for that as well. We had to do different pre-KVK RCF stages. We had to turn in speed ups. There was no barb stage. So there was definitely a lot of adjustments to be made. And as we enter KVK, I usually stayed up or woke up at reset to set up my buildings, canyon, just do some things that I have to do it in the morning. But this time I decided to just wake up earlier, like 6 or 7 a.m. And usually at that time, the forts, like the first chronicle finishes and the first Karok is up to do. And this time that didn't happen. This time our allies didn't build their forts. I don't know why, but the opponent took advantage of that, and the forts didn't build all the way up to like 12 UTC. So once you add in the 12 hours for the openings were around reset, and that was just a bad time for most players. And there was nothing we could do until the 200 flag chronicle, but even that didn't help much because it only delayed for like 40 minutes or something, because we didn't build any. We weren't in control, basically. We just didn't build any flags. They did build their flags as soon as possible, and we reached at basically close to 3 a.m. for European people as the opening time. So that was definitely a hindrance. And our first zone opening definitely showed that. I believe that has been our worst performance as a kingdom ever. In this zone, we just didn't have the people. It was middle of the week, and we just got overrun. Like simple as that. Our allies didn't do much. We tried to hold off, but you know, I stayed up from 2 to like 6 a.m. I, I, I had some sleep. Then I went back around 10. But then I got the news that really got me off the game for a couple days, maybe a week, maybe more. It was that my grandfather was you know, in a car crash and he died from the injury on the spot. So that definitely shook me. And I just logged in the following days just to do the bastions. And I didn't even do all the bastions, but I was just trying to process it. I didn't really know how it ended, but we didn't fight long after that. Like, so after that, I was just logging in, and then next was next on opening and the altar. I believe the first altar was once again around reset, and I believe we did well. I don't know how many were they. It was we held it off for like all the way up to the last 30 minutes, which was pretty good at that time. But then the second altar came around, which was like our usual time, like 14, 15 UTC, and we didn't manage to cap it, which was very surprising. And the third altar we just didn't test because it was very early for us, so wasn't very wasn't looking very promising to that point. But once pass 7 came around, we got the pass first. We managed to just it was just a lot of open fielding in this area. We tried to burn their forts. They did build a flag here. They did a double rally. We managed to hold it off, and we had a really good, I would say, pretty good pass 7. All things considered, we also I think lost the pass once, but they didn't really do much at the time. They just maybe rallied a fort from GP, but that was it basically. We were in control most of the time, and it was looking quite promising in that regard. And then Kingsland, well, I didn't show our allies, but it was basically left versus right. We had fire camp and water camp as our ally against earth and wind. And by the way, in all that, uh, first openings, altars, water just really had a bad performance in the first opening. They had like 3 altars. I think they contested one. I think they lost that one. I'm not sure. I didn't really pay attention to them. And up the way to Kingsland, they really didn't do much. I'll just be honest. I'm not someone who lies. They just didn't do much. They just got obliterated, and they really couldn't hold. They barely could hold a couple hours. They were free burning. Meanwhile, we were out here and pushing, and we got all the way up to this ridge, and we had honestly pretty good couple hours. We were burning. We had field control, or I should say, positive field reports. And once we got here, once Wind got here, they double rallied. They got more presence. It was basically 2 versus 1 at that point, so we couldn't really hold. Like we were losing players. It was like 5 a.m., 6 a.m. We were losing players, and eventually, a couple more hours, just told people to leave. So I woke up around 2 a.m. for Kingsland. I went to sleep at like 8 a.m. It took like a 2-hour nap. Went back and see like already we were abandoning things, just stalling, fielding. But basically, it was lost, and it definitely felt bitter in a way because I don't think these cans were particularly strong that we were up against. They just had a lot more numbers. and more competent allies. Like, straight up. I think I'm gonna show you stats. So for hero scrolls, this is it. As you can see by kingdom, we are on top. We got the most DKP. Our ally in the camp has the lowest DKP. So that also tells you something. And also water. Water mostly got the DKP from deads. They didn't really, I don't know. I'm just not impressed with water camp at all. I could go on a tangent about them, but I'd rather not to. I just don't want to see them in a KVK again. I really don't want to. And if we go up to here, we go to camps. Same thing here. DKP is on our side. I think after the first opening, which was really bad, honestly terrible, I think we did redeem ourselves. We tried our best, but it ultimately wasn't enough because we just got overrun. And there is no shame in being overrun. And I believe I said it before KVK. I didn't mind losing KVK because usually when you're losing, you have a lot more kills. And that's definitely been the true case in my own, because you may have seen it in the rankings already. But on this account, I got two accounts. This was the new acquired, like I had access to VIP 19 account with really good marches. And truth be told, I try to play both accounts all the way up to the first altar. And up to past 7, I use this account to field, and I use this account to fill. Counter rallies, pass, just use it as a filler. And I didn't use it that much because I didn't have many deaths. I had like 600k deaths in this account. And I had 600k deaths in this account all the way up to Kingsland, in which I got like nearly 3 million deaths, all T5. And it all came down from swarming garrison. So in a way, I was having a lot of fun in Kingsland because I was just waiting for the rally to hit, and I hit swarm. And something that I did in the past as well, but obviously I didn't have the tech really to do it effectively. And I did this time, and I had a lot of fun doing that. I just gotta say, this account was very fun to use. As you can see, I spent 17 billion resources, and I got like 32 million kills. No, 33.5 million kills. So I reached my requirements in kills and deaths of this account. But on my free-to-play account, I didn't, because I just didn't have the bandwidth to deal with that account as well. I was pretty burned out. Still is, but I do want to make a video showing how we did. And once again, I'm proud of my kingdom. I believe we tried. We redeemed ourselves after a terrible first pass opening. And then we're going to see what happens. We still have more than 2 weeks in the KVK. And then, like I said, this is the most eventful KVK I had ever in the game, because I was maintaining 2 accounts. I was active in leadership. I had a really tragic scenario in real life. The pass openings were terrible, and it all just came together full circle. But I am proud of my performance as well. I haven't got this amount of kills in a while, so I got something out of it for sure. And I'm gonna quickly show you the marches that I used. And I had a lot of marches, and I'm pretty happy with most of them. I have my Baichi Philip at altar. And I used not in the city. Basically, I had to dial down to 4 marches after swarming. I used Huo with Joan. I used Arthur with William. So these are the 4 marches that I use for the most part. Arthur William. The problem was, it's a good march. I liked it, but it got out of position quite fast. So it got swarmed down. But when it stayed alive, it did well. Chin YSG. I did Chin with Zhuge Liang, but because the way I play it, and always play, is I don't really micro too much, especially when we're pushing. Because when we're pushing, I'm usually in the vanguard. I'm usually one of the first ones to get hit, to tank. And my mindset is, if we push and I die and we, clear them out or get the objective, that is a success in my book. I don't really look at the trades that way. Obviously, I've been getting a lot of 40-50% reports, but like I said, if the goal is achieved, then I don't mind. But when I wasn't in a vanguard, I had really good reports. I've been quite happy with it. I've been using some bastions to mix and match, experiment, had fun. And Huo Joan, also like Arthur William, if it didn't get caught off guard or our position, it would do really well because this has really good bastions. Like the William bastion is really good for this march. And Lucha Alex with Björn's bastion and more stats. This has also been one of the best trading marches that I had still, because there's a lot of insta proc damage and I really like this march. So I still have pincer on it. So pretty good. And then Baichi Philip is probably my favorite march because, like I said, the way I play in a retarded way. I don't really retreat that much. I just stay and soak. And with the Constantine Bastion and even more smite damage, I've been really happy with this march. Like, really happy. Even when I get traded down, I usually trade even or even positive because of its Baichi's expertise. Or like for my playstyle, this expertise is really good. Excellent. So if you play like me, I think Baichi is a must-have commander. I really like Baichi in this game. So I had good stats on it as well. We had airtight. So I think airtight also helped a lot because it mitigated a lot of the damage that I received when I get out of position. So once again, really happy with this. My chin was 5551 for the most part. It's gonna be even better when it's expertise, but I'll be honest, I didn't get all of those crazy reports that you saw on videos. I only got like a couple of those. I think this march just requires a bit more micro than my current playstyle is not doing that. So those are the marches. I've been pretty happy with them. This account has been a lot of fun. And I'll continue to play it. I just don't know how will I manage it because I've just been trying to multitask between the two accounts, and obviously one account will suffer. And I'm gonna see how we do. I might try to migrate one of the accounts just so I can play KVKs, two accounts, not at the same time. I think it's going to be better. It's going to take a bit more of my time, but it's going to be more content. So I'm going to see how it goes. And as for the tech, well, the tech, I gotta say, has been really helpful. And the fact that we get the biggest Karok before Kingsland has been a very, very big positive for me because it just feels right. It definitely just feels thematic. You're getting the best Karok before the biggest fight of the KVK. I think that just seems logical, and I'm glad they did that. But for the most part, I focused on infantry, then made my way down to special concoctions, and then now doing these damage reductions. And I got surprise strike for the Kingsland, so I can swarm things effectively a bit better. And one tech that has been very good was Celestial Guidance in fighting. But when you're trying to do tech and you got those research bastions, that can be a bit tricky because you have to have those lengthier ones because it will automatically complete them with this tech. So just be careful with that if you're trying to use those speed ups. But for the most part, I could have had more stats in my other marches, but I just went for special concoctions too. I think in hindsight, next KVK, I should not really push special concoctions too, because it it's taking a while. So I'll rather max this one and then work on more stats. And then once the Kara comes around, I get, excellent true capacity, all that, and then make my way around to special concoctions and the damage reduction. Also, I've been documenting every single tech that I made since the beginning. So I'm probably gonna include this in my crystal guide that I'll make probably near the end of KVK. So in like a couple days, a week from now, I don't know. But I've been documenting and just want to see the path. And from this path, I will, forge efficient pathway for myself and for you. So I'm probably going to include this in the guide as well so you can see it for yourself. Maybe make your judgment in some cases. But I think this has been very helpful and I'm using this account to experiment with it. And on my free-to-play account, I didn't really branch out much. Like I said, I'm going to be focusing on infantry, and I did. But my other troop types definitely suffer because of it. So definitely something to consider. And let's see, what did I miss? I showed you the dead. Yeah. So I was fielding all T5s, old KVK. So this was something new for me as well. I don't remember the time when I did that. It definitely felt fun to have all those good reports and stay longer alive and all that good stuff. Been doing the king skills. Overall, like I had a lot of fun in all the circumstances. I had a lot more to do, but obviously I couldn't stream during the late opening times, and I probably wouldn't stream if it were in a regular time because once again I was occupied. I didn't want to give up our plan and strategy during fighting. So you could have watched only Farmer. I think she streamed a lot, and for the most part, I got. Oh yeah, also one thing, I didn't chain at all this game. As you can see, my honor is really low at this time, and I don't have all the minutes for the altar. So I think I can count on two hands how many ruins that I was in, and definitely altars as well. But we still have some time until end of KVK to see what happens. But yeah, definitely something that's been unorthodox, and just want to clear out some what happened with me with the KVK, and I'm gonna making a crystal guide like I mentioned. So that's probably gonna be my next video. So let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.